Hi, everybody. I'm going to play some music here for a moment, just to kind of wait for some of you to join the stream. But I'm also live streaming this on Facebook. And for those of you who might be seeing this on the Not My Rabbit Hole Facebook page, I don't know why, but Facebook's not acknowledging my music that I'm playing, that I have that I'm paying for to have the rights to use on my platforms. And they sometimes I'm getting this, like, in some countries this is being whatever, and so there might be a dead spot. So if you are looking at this and you're like, oh, okay, how come I'm not hearing any music or anything like that? It's because it's been muted. So just kind of skip through this video if you want to get to the nugget. I guess it's for everybody. Like if you are, here and you, well, I see a couple of people already. So maybe I'll not do any music because there's a few people watching. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'll do one song to kind of open it up and just give a few more minutes. I'll just do the opening song that I like to play. Let me see. Okay, here we go. I'll play this for a moment. Oh, wait. I got to share the screen first. I got to share the screen. All right. Let me share the screen. Okay. Here we go.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. I want to save my soul. I was walking out one evening late. Headed for the riverside, around us fuss and fry.
All right, welcome to the to my live stream, Not My Rabbit Hole with Tere Joyce. Yeah, there's a bit of a hubbub happening right now. It's hit the mainstream news. The first person who shared it with me that pointed it out about a biolab being in like a rogue biolab found in Reedley, California, and that is very close to me. As a matter of fact, the community college that I had been attending, I'm now at the university, but if you can, on the community college level, Reedley, California is an option that I could go to and still be in the same part of my degree. Like, for example, I could take an online class at Reedley College, even though I don't live in Reedley. So this story is pretty close to home, and I want to share a few news clips about it. I'm seeing other people tweet it. I'm seeing other people on YouTube talking about it. And so I'm going to pull up a few videos. I've watched one or two. I haven't watched all of them. So you're going to be discovering the information and looking into it in real time, like I am right now, from what I can see just on the internet. Okay, so the first news story I want to start with is this one. It's titled. It's from. See, what news network is it? It's secret biological lab in Reedley shut down by health authorities over safety. This is Fox 26 News. So this is Fresno, California. This is a Fresno, California news station. So I'm going to go ahead and share that here with you and play just a little bit of this news clip, just to kind of. Okay, here we go.
Well, we're now learning more about a biological lab in Reedley that's been shut down by the Fresno County Department of Public Health. Fox 26 reporter Rich Rodriguez explains what kind of testing took place for months in the warehouse no one in town says they knew about.
From October 2022 until spring 2023, this warehouse at 850 I Street in Reedley was operating a biological lab. It was a well-kept secret. After seeing signs of activity there, the city of Reedley asked Fresno County Department of Public Health to investigate.
Just a significant amount of over like 36 refrigerator freezers located on site, and there was a lot of biological agents on there. So there was a lot of contents of blood, serum, everything that
Wait, you know what? I'm sorry. I should put my banner on. This is fair use. And we are critiquing and educating the public. So I'm going to put the banner out there.
Biological lab would normally have.
Las Vegas-based Prestige Biotech was doing the testing. The company was using hundreds of mice, which had to be euthanized.
They were utilizing the laboratory mice to see whether or not their COVID test kits were actually testing for COVID. So that was their purpose for having the laboratory mice on site.
Fresno County Public Health asked for help from state and federal agencies. Prado says it's not illegal to create a biological lab. The county went to its legal toolbox to shut it down.
We use a health officer or authority to actually issue the order for inspection, assess what's on site, what are we really dealing with here. Once we completed that assessment, we then moved towards an abatement warrant. That is actually signed by a judge.
County Public Health destroyed all the biologicals in the warehouse. That project was finished July 7th. Prado has never seen anything like this in his 27-year career.
Here at the Public Health Department, we operate our own lab, so we're very well versed in the legal requirements and how to maintain and control an infectious agent. And there was just a complete absence of those controls in place at the warehouse.
Signs posted at the warehouse read, "Unsafe to occupy." Reedley city manager says it's their responsibility to make sure the building stays unoccupied. The city recently turned off electricity to the building. Rich Rodriguez, Fox 26 News.
Fresno County Public Health says the job and really isn't over. There are still chemicals and medical devices on site that the county will help the city of Reedley dispose of.
Want to see more stories like this?
Like, just go back for a second. Did he say that they were using the mice to check the effectiveness of the COVID testing kits? I mean, I want to make sure that I'm hearing this right.
What kind of testing took place for months in the warehouse?
No, this is an update. This is not the first report.
No one in town says they knew about.
From October 2022 until spring 2023, this warehouse at 850 I Street in Reedley was operating a biological lab. It was a well-kept secret. After seeing signs of activity there, the city of Reedley asked Fresno County Department of Public Health to investigate.
Just a significant amount of over like 36 refrigerator freezers located on site, and there was a lot of biological agents on there. So there was a lot of contents of blood, serum, everything that a biological lab would normally have.
Las Vegas-based Prestige Biotech was doing the testing. The company
whose blood and serum
was using hundreds of mice, which had to be euthanized.
They were utilizing the laboratory mice to see whether or not their COVID test kits were actually testing for COVID. So that was their purpose for having the laboratory mice on site.
Fresno County Public Health asked
how do they know that? Did they talk to somebody about it? Like, he's saying that there's a purpose, but how do they know that there's a purpose, that was what the purpose is? It's kind of vague. They're not really giving all of the information. I mean, it's like, come on, if you're going to say something like that, what? Okay, so the guy from the CDC, who is he again? Who is this? Joe Prater, Assistant Director, Fresno County Public Health, is the expert telling you what they were doing, but like, how would they know that? What the motivation was if they hadn't? I mean, who are the people that are in charge? How would he know that? Okay, I have that question. All right, I have questions. Question: how would he know that? Okay, now, here's I've never seen anything like it. This is another news report, same channel. Now this one was uploaded 5 days ago. All right, this one was uploaded 5 days ago, and the other one, let me go back and find out when the other one was uploaded. I'm not sharing the screen right now. Let me go back to the other one. That was, did I share the screen the first time? I hope I shared the screen on the first one. I guess I could go back and just double check my steps. I don't know. I'm not seeing anybody talking in the chat. So I'm going to go find where I'm streaming this just to make sure that I didn't goof up and look at it and not share everything with you. Okay, let me. Did I share the screen the first time? Okay, wait. Let me see if sorry about this. I just want to make sure that if anybody's in the chat want to say something that you saw that footage, or if it, whatever might have happened there. I guess maybe I can just go to my own stream. Was never. Oh yeah, okay. I just double checking you saw that. Oh God. Okay, now here, let's go with the next one. Hi, Baby Fist. All right, here we go.
More about a biological lab in Reedley that's been shut down by the Fresno County Department of Public Health. Fox 26 reporter Rich Rodriguez explains what kind of testing took place for months in the warehouse. No one.
All right, this is the one I already showed. All right, hold on. That's the wrong one. We just looked at that. But there's this other one. It's titled, I've never seen anything like it, 5 days ago. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, so let's share that one. Hold on.
like this.
First at 11, this one is tough to believe. An investigation tonight into a possible illegal medical lab. It was operating out of an abandoned warehouse in Reedley. Inside, mice bioengineered to incubate the COVID-19 virus. The lab was discovered near I and 9th Streets. 30 refrigerators and freezers, some broken, were found filled with bodily fluids. Health officials tell us they are shocked at the biological house of horror. CBS 47's Juanita Adame live in studio with the shocking details tonight.
Well, Brian, this story is so complex.
Biological house of horror. I just kind of see it's even coming up. Tell us they're going to repeat it. Tell us they are shocked at the biological house of horror.
There are local, state, and federal agencies all involved. Now, what prompted this investigation was a simple garden hose that was illegally attached and coming out of the back of a building. It was back in April inside this abandoned warehouse in Reedley that a discovery so shocking was made that it left local health officials stunned.
This is a truly unusual situation. I've been in government for 25 years. I've never seen anything like this.
I've never have seen this in my 26-year career with the county of Fresno.
What was supposed to be an empty building used only for storage was home to an unauthorized lab testing facility, something no one had even conceived of.
We reach out to our local public health directors throughout the state, California, and nobody has really expressed this type of interaction with a unlicensed lab. So it is something new.
The discovery was made after a local code enforcement officer noticed this garden hose poking out a back wall of the building.
Frankly, we knew that shouldn't be there. And when she went to go investigate, she found that there was activity or operation or something happening within that building.
The city then obtained several search warrants to enter the building. Once inside, no staff was located, but
there was a special room that was built housing about 1,000 mice, 1,000 white lab mice.
And the reason the mice were in the lab was jaw-dropping.
Through their statements, that they were doing some testing on laboratory mice.
Okay, through their statements, but they're not saying who they are.
That would help them support developing the COVID test kits that they had on site.
Documents show the lab was also being used to produce pregnancy tests. 200 of the nearly 1,000 mice were already dead. According to court documents, all the rodents were being...
I wonder if it's the pregnancy test that they sell at the Dollar Tree store. I just had a thought.
Aged in, quote, inhumane conditions. Also found thousands of vials, many of which contain biohazards, materials including human blood, unidentified tissue, and other unknown substances.
Unidentified tissue. Wow.
A lot of these are being classified under unknown chemicals. Labels had been removed from bottles, so there was only certain testing we could do to those chemicals.
Where did they get the tissue and the blood from?
Into court documents, experts determined that at least 20 potentially infectious, viral, bacterial, and parasitic agents were being stored inadequately, including...
Okay, so this isn't just... To me, if it's got all this stuff in there, how can they just say that they were trying to test the effectiveness of the COVID testing kits? And that's a lot. Let's go back again.
Viral, bacterial, and parasitic agents were being stored inadequately, including E. coli, malaria, and even COVID. The city of Reedley.
Okay, so it's more than one. It's more than one infectious disease. So I don't think we should simplify it into COVID testing.
The CDC, the FBI, the California Department of Public Health, and the Fresno County Department of Public Health.
I think because of that swift action that was taken, we really have been able to maintain public safety this entire time.
Over the course of several weeks, investigators figured out just what they were up against. And as of now,
there are no more biologicals, there are no more mice, but they still will see us abating. There's 30 freezers and fridges, there's medical equipment, there's all sorts of furniture in there. And so they'll still see some activity. Nothing hazardous at this point.
Prado said the owners operated under the name Prestige Biotech, and so far they aren't saying much.
Some of our other federal and state partners still have active investigations going. So
yeah, they're probably not saying much because they need to have their attorney involved.
The building side of it.
Now, again, Reedley city officials emphasized that the lab had no city approval to operate and was supposed to be vacant. Investigators are working to figure out what to do next. Live here in the studio, Juanita Adame, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Nita, what a wild story. And for continuing coverage.
Yeah, it's a wild story. And you're not saying who they are. and what's going to happen to them? Like, is this illegal? Is somebody going to get prosecuted for this? I mean, what? I just feel like there's like I want more information.
CentralValley.com.
Can they not give that? I mean, is that coming later, or is this going to just be like a passing story that we all kind of forget about? Okay, so I want to. I just want to look at one more. I have one more video pulled up here. Let's see. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, and here's a news conference that took place. So and this is a little bit longer. So it's and I haven't even looked at any of this. So I'm curious to see what happens in the news conference. Yeah, this doesn't really have. This doesn't have anything to do with who you're talking about. This story has nothing to do with Thomas. So please don't, my entire channel isn't about this man. So let's not bring him in the chat, Scott, if that's okay. I'm going to ask you to stop talking about Thomas. Hi, Pavana. Oh, okay, good. If you love everyone, then let's just calm down about like. Okay, so you might love the truth, but you know, we're not talking about him right now. So I'm not wanting, like, I just don't want to talk about that at the moment. This is honestly, I think a biolab in Reedley is a little bit more important at the moment. And the sun doesn't rise and set on, you know, what Thomas Schoenberger is doing. All right, so let's continue. Let's look at this news conference.
Went through for the last 2.5, 3 years. The COVID pandemic went on for nearly 3 years. It's commonly believed that COVID resulted from a lab leak out of the Wuhan lab in China. Worldwide, there are 769 million cases of COVID that resulted in nearly 7 million deaths. In the United States, there have been 107 million cases and nearly 1.2 million deaths. In California, there have been 103,000 deaths. China's COVID-19 virus resulted in the destruction of lives, livelihoods, the economy, and business. Children were stupidly locked out of school for 2 years and were destroyed academically, socially, and emotionally. People lost their freedoms, were forced to get experimental vaccines, to wear ineffective masks, and were lied to over and over by the CDC and government officials.
Wow, is he actually really saying this? Okay, let's keep going.
Any of information that challenged the lies and the tyrannical mandates that were suppressed by social media.
Whoa!
And we had officials locally that were silent and complicit with all the unconstitutional and destructive government orders. And now they're silent again.
Go Fresno!
So what do we know about this lab in Reedley? Well, on March 3rd, the Reedley code enforcement officers investigated the site after seeing an illegally attached garden hose. On March 16th, the warehouse was inspected, and it was discovered that the lab was producing COVID-19. There is blood, tissue, bodily fluid samples.
Producing, he said producing it.
And thousands of vials with fluids that are not labeled. They also found 900 mice, 200 mice that were dead. On March 16th, the representative from the company, Prestige Biotech, potentially a China national, informed investigators, quote, "These mice were genetically engineered to catch and carry the COVID-19 virus, end quote. Prestige Biotech, that company, is licensed in Nevada, not California. One address listed for this company is a vacant building in Las Vegas. Substack reports that other addresses related to this company appear to be in China, though this can't be verified at this time. And they also report that, quote, thousands of packages were found as well, many with shipping labels from China, end quote. On May 4th,
oh my
the
God.
CDC inspected the lab and found infectious agents that were both bacterial and viral in nature. Some of these include hepatitis B and C, rubella, malaria, E. coli, and pneumonia. Fresno Superior Court documents indicate that mice were involved in these experiments with COVID-19. The lab apparently illegally disposed of medical waste, and it's believed it went to the landfill. This can't be confirmed because the operators of the lab have not been forthcoming. Now, questions that must be answered and the public has a right to know. One, is this company from China, or is it sponsored by the Chinese government? What was the purpose and goals of their experimenting with COVID-19?
Oh my God. Okay, I wish I had another expression than wow and oh my God.
And having mice catch and carry the disease. What were they doing with all the bacterial and viral infectious agents found at the illegal lab? Two, are the people that were running and operating this lab Chinese nationals or American citizens? If they're not American citizens, are they here illegally? Three, and most importantly, why wasn't the public informed of this illegal lab and what was found? The Fresno County Department of Public Health, it's public health, has an obligation to notify the public of potential dangers, both past and present. During the COVID pandemic, their medical officer held weekly press conferences justifying ineffective, destructive lockdowns and mandates, and yet not even an acknowledgement to the public of the illegal and potentially dangerous activities at the lab. So he spent a week having the media come, telling the public things that were not true, supporting all of the tyrannical, destructive things that were taking place in our city, our county, our state, our nation. And then when a lab related to COVID-19 is found 5 months ago, no word. No word from him, no word from the Public Health Department, no word from the Board of Supervisors. Number four, the Board of Supervisors are also silent. This is similar to the crisis when foster children were found to be sleeping on floors in offices. They only addressed it when they were forced to because it became public through the media. This is disgraceful and represents a willful decision to hide from and shirk their duties as elected representatives of, guess what? The public.
Wow.
They're responsible to the public. These same Board of Supervisors were derelict in the responsibilities to the public during the pandemic. They were silent and complicit with all of Governor Newsom's destructive, unscientific lockdowns, mandates, and forcing kids out of school for 2 years. Now we have the same cowardice from the Board of Supervisors, and they're silent again when facing another crisis in the county, again related to COVID. The public has a right to know, what did the Board of Supervisors know about the lab? When did they know it? And why didn't they inform the public? 5, are there any current potential dangers to the public?
All right, who is this guy? Wait, okay, so City of Fresno news, this is a news conference, but I missed his name. I don't know, maybe we should go back later. Let me what does it say in the description? Fresno City Councilman. He's Fresno City Councilman Gary Redfeld is holding a news conference regarding the county on providing critical information to the public regarding an illegal biological COVID lab discovered in Reedley in March. Oh, it's August now. So, all right.
As a result of these experiments and illegal dumping of medical waste that involve COVID-19 and potential infectious agents that are both bacterial and viral in nature. Are there any potential adverse impacts to the farms in the area? How about the people in Fresno County or even beyond the local area?
Oh my God.
COVID spread around the world. How can the public be assured no medical waste was disposed of in our water systems? Number 6, were any safety measures in place at this illegal lab to protect the public from spread of COVID or the infectious agents they were experimenting with? We believe COVID spread from the Wuhan lab, and it could have come from this lab as well. Number 7, Lemoore Naval Air Station is only 45 miles from this illegal lab. As was reported in Substack, quote, all of the F-18s for all the Navy's West Coast base carriers are located at Lemoore. The F-18s are primary strike fighters for the United States Navy. In a war with China, these are the aircraft that we would rely upon to sink Chinese naval vessels and give us victory, end quote. The implications from the spread of a debilitating virus could be devastating to our nation's military readiness. Is the location of this illegal lab coincidence or purposeful? Now, what do we do with what we've got right now? Well, according to Joe Prado of the Fresno County Department of Health, there's currently no requirements for any lab, licensed or not, to report to the local public health department the biologicals or the testing that is being conducted. I call on the Board of Supervisors to immediately create a new law mandating this requirement in Fresno County, with the penalty of immediate shutdown if the lab is non-compliant. Additionally, there should be financial and criminal penalties for non-compliance. Secondly, Mr. Prado also stated, quote, if you don't receive public funding of any sort, you can, with private dollars, set up a laboratory in California and the United States, end quote, just like was done here. This must change on the state and the national level. There must be enough oversight to protect the public. This clearly isn't the case now, and it must change immediately. And lastly, I don't know when elected officials will learn who they work for. It's for the public. The public has a right to know that after March 3rd, 5 months ago, in a legal lab experimenting with mice with COVID-19 infectious agents, similarly as was done at the Wuhan lab 3 years ago, is going on in our backyard. The public had a right to know. The public has a right to know exactly what they know and when they knew it and what they intend to do about what's going on. Secondly, are there any other labs like this floating around? And what is happening with the people who are involved in this lab?
Yes.
These are the questions that I've been asked by the public. These are the questions that should be answered by the public. And the Fresno Board of Supervisors and the County Public Department of Health, Public Health, has an obligation to let people know what's going on. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Well, there's no connection other than I represent the public, and the public is asking me, Gary, can you get involved and find out what's going on? And so we've done that. And that's what we've done. They know darn well that I'm their voice, that I always have been a voice for the people. And just like during COVID-19, with all of the tyrannical, authoritarian, unscientific, destructive lockdowns that I opposed, they know where I stand on things. You have to have transparency in government. And it just is lacking. And it's lacking here. And it's unbelievable that we've just gone through COVID for 3 years, where millions of people lost their lives under similar circumstances with people who were experimenting in China, and a virus was unleashed upon the world. Whether it was intentional or not, we don't know. But the fact is, a virus was unleashed on the world in similar ways, experimenting with COVID-19, and then it left that lab and people died. That is something we'd have to look at. I'm not aware. I mean, this is the first since I heard about this on July 25th when it was reported in the local media paper there in Reedley. It's the first I've heard of any kind of lab like this anywhere. So that's something I'm sure the city of Fresno is going to look at and determine, are any labs like this operating anywhere? And if so, what's going on? Hopefully this was the only one. I'm sorry? Act on what? Well, when you have a business, you're supposed to have a business permit, and people are supposed to provide that business permit and pay for that permit, and that's how the city knows businesses that are operating in the city. Now, if there are labs, as Mr. Prado says, that if they're private, they don't have to register with anybody, that's a problem. And that's a problem on a national and a state level, as well as a local level. Did you have a question? Go ahead, whoever. We, the city of Fresno, will certainly be doing our due diligence with this situation, looking at any relationship that occurred in the city with this lab or what they may be trying to do in the future. And the city's going to do that work, I can assure you. Yeah, that's what I read as well. And we're looking into that. And I've spoken to the city manager. I know they're all looking into that on all levels. Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know. But you figure if the county public health department is involved, they're responsible for the oversight there. That's why they're elected to be there. So they had to know at some point, clearly, I would suspect they knew before July 25th when everyone else found out in an article. Yes.
Uh-huh. This is a huge story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No. No. Well, that's what I'm saying. The public has a right to know, was this company sponsored by the Chinese government? Who are these people? What is their role in this lab? What was the role of the experimentation with COVID-19 with mice and genetically engineering them to carry the virus? Why is that going on? Why is it going on here? What's the purpose of that? The public has a right to know all of those questions. Now, this is not about Chinese people. This is about a lab where people are using COVID-19 and infectious agents on mice illegally, dumping it illegally, and apparently they happen to be Chinese nationals. We'll find out whether that's the case or not. But I know you want to inject race into it, but it has nothing to do with this. There is no excuse, as far as I'm concerned, for not notifying the public about what's taking place.
Oh, it's hard to hear what other people say.
Supervisors responsible. I hold the Department of Public Health.
You can do closed caption.
It is the Department of Public Health, and Dr. Vora had no problem spending every week for the last 2 years during the pandemic spewing this information to the public, and yet he's incredibly silent now. So is the Department of Public Health. And so is the Board of Supervisors, but they were silent during COVID the whole time.
Oh.
Well, the city of Reedley is the one that discovered, and frankly, I want to give kudos to the Reedley Code Enforcement for finding it, for acknowledging it, for seeing it, for investigating it, and frankly, for all the agencies that are now investigating it. That's exactly what needs to happen. I do not know anything. Again, that's Reedley, and so I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. Well, you have an illegal lab. You're genetically engineering COVID into mice. For what reason, we don't know. You have a Department of Public Health that becomes aware of this very shortly. It's now been 5 months. The public is not informed of this except from a reporter who reported this in a local media outlet. That's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable to the people who are calling me. And it should be unacceptable to our constituents, which it is, when you have public officials who are supposed to be representing their interests and they're not talking about this very dangerous behavior that's going on. If we can't understand that this is dangerous after going through COVID and millions of people dying, I don't know what it's going to take for elected officials to get off their asses and represent the people. I'll leave that to the county. I think Dr. Voris should have lost his job long ago. I would have fired him long ago for all of the misinformation he was spewing to the people in Fresno County. Listen, my position of who I am and what I do as a representative for the people is very clear. And my position and the way I conduct myself is very different than most politicians. I'm unafraid. I speak the truth. I don't back down from all of the attacks, and I'll be attacked here too, I'm sure. So they understand that, and that's a very different thing. Whether it happens in a campaign, we shall see. No. Well, I'm the only one today who's been speaking out as far as we know since July 25th. Yes. I've taken the questions to the public just like I'm asking right now. These questions need to be answered by officials who were involved in this incident. I'm doing that right today.
I'm having a noisy day today outside. It's really weird. I guess it's kind of like he's listening to somebody, so it's too bad that the audience isn't mic'd. Right? So let me see if I can skip it a little bit ahead here. So this is a long. Okay, here we go. All right, I guess I should have waited. La 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 la. He's going to speak here pretty soon. Questions asked and other.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
All right, still waiting.
You say they haven't been verified. The concern is a verified concern. Well, if you understand COVID and
how did that get stuck? Wait, I stopped it. Hold on. How did that get stuck? No, I can't. What the hell just happened? Oh, how annoying. Sorry. Technical difficulties here.
Senator Kennedy.
All right, I didn't want that. Stop it. Oh, now we're going to go up to the beginning. Okay, here we go. Let's get down back to here. We're about right here. Okay, this is good enough. Can't head back up here again. Okay, so I'm seeing that some of you are asking questions, and so I'm gonna address it here as before I finish this part right here. So Pavana is asking. So I missed some. Was it the biolab in California that was injecting COVID into mice? Yes. And this one's in Reedley, California. It's in Reedley, California. Okay, Scott Bibler, sorry. Yeah, right now the topic is the unknown lab. So Scott, it's not like I'm never going to talk about him anymore anywhere, but it's just like, my channel is not about that stuff. I just want to be real specific, and I actually want to take my channel back from it. Didn't your friends tell you this already before it already? Yeah, people, I got a friend of mine sent me a news clip. You're talking about the Reedley stuff? Yeah, but I didn't look into it like this. And I certainly think it's worth the conversation. It's worth talking about. I'm hearing Ukraine and Canada. I'm hearing, I've seen some stuff about it, but I'm not sure about the source, because I think that, I just want to verify that that's actually been taking place, and that this is not going into some sort of like, it's not being added on to a conspiracy that's not factual. What would I like to talk about? Something bigger that's going on, and that you'll better grab your panties and get out gear and get out. Okay. Can we talk about my family from outer space? Okay, I'm going to let you go, Scott. Okay. Yeah, Bibbler is probably a troll. But thanks for subscribing, Bibbler, because I have a 5-minute subscriber requirement. So thanks for supporting my channel while you say silly things. Okay, let's go.
I'm doing that right today. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's much left here. Let's see. It's here. Where does it wrap up at? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to kind of like stop it there. That's a little frustrating for me. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Okay, so TS used to live with Bibbler. I've heard. Dribbler brings cigs and Starbucks to TS, FY. Oh, thank you. Okay, that kind of like gives me the ballpark of who that might be. Wow. And then they say that they don't, like, there's not a network of people trolling anybody or interrupting their broadcast on their behalf, right? Oh, you're just imagining it. Oh, okay. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there. I think that's pretty big news. The biolab. And that's pretty much it, really. I don't really have much else to say. If you like this video, please give it a like, share, leave a comment. If you're watching this later, leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts, what you think is going on, because I think the story is going to continue. This is not over yet. But I'm going to say goodbye for now. And, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining Pavana, Jody. I'm not going to thank Scott. So Scott could. But one thing I wanted to say about this is that the council member that was speaking, Gary, he kicks ass. I had this, a thought came to my head is like, don't fuck with Fresno, don't fuck with Fresno, better not fuck with Fresno. I thought about getting a sticker like, don't fuck with Fresno, because we're an interesting city with some, where it seems like Fresno has a heartbeat. And it's the city that I'm from. So I'm going to take pride in Fresno. All right. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye and play out a song. and thanks for tuning in. So let me pull this up here. Oh, that's not what I want. What happened? This again, this show's kind of on the fly, so forgive me if my timing isn't totally tight with all of my cues, but I am signing off. See you next time.
Save my soul. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Went up downtown. Come on to save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. That's right. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Save my soul. Won't you save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Won't you save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Won't you save my soul. Up, save my soul. Save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Up, save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising, headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fight.